Students, today we'll derive torque equation of a DC motor and also we'll study the different types of DC motor. What do you mean by the torque? That is, the torque is nothing but it is a turning moment of a force about an axis. If any force is exerted on a axis, then there is a turning moment on the system. It is usually measured in terms of product of the force and radius at which the angle to which the force is acts. That we'll see. That is, the torque is nothing but the turning moment of a force about an axis. That is, we have seen that in the case of the motor, current carrying conductor is placed under a magnetic field. There is a force is exerted on a armature, which is the circle in the nature. Therefore, force is exerted on the armature. Because of the force is exerted on the armature, then there is a turning moment. Because of that, the rotor start rotating. Thereby, there is a conversion of electrical energy into a mechanical energy. And also, we have to discuss different types of DC motor. The DC motors, we know that is were classified once again as series motor, shunt motor and the compound motor. In the case of the series motor, that is, a field is connected in series with the armature. You know already in the case of a generator. In the case of shunt motor, the field is connected across the armature, whereas in the compound motor we have got both series as well as the field shunt fields are existing. Depending upon the connection of the shunt field, once again it is classified into long shunt compound motor and short shunt compound motor. We'll study these things. Okay. First we will take up the torque equation, derivation of a torque equation. Then we know that is the consider a pulley, that is a circular body, because it is we are applying this to DC motor armature. Consider a pulley of a radius r meters, that is shown in this figure, having a radius of r, and the force exerted on that the pulley is F. That is, F is measured in terms of Newton meters, and at the distance of r from the center it is acting. Therefore, the torque is, it is a product of force and the resistance. That is, because of this, the force is exerted on the pulley, then because of the momentum, then it start rotating with a speed of n rpm. Therefore, the torque on the rotor or a pulley is given by, it is a product of force and the radial distance, that is r meters. That is, it is measured in terms of Newton meters. Then the work done, suppose if there is a force is exerted, or because the force is exerted because of interaction between the current carrying conductor and the magnetic flux that is acting on the armature of the motor. Because of this, there is the force is exerted, therefore the rotor start rotating with a speed n. Then I am interested in work done in one revolution. What is the work done in one revolution? How we are calculating work done in one revolution? Work done is measured in terms of force multiplied by distance traveled. Distance traveled. What is the force is exerted? Force is exerted F, and for one revolution, what is the distance covered? It is 2 pi r. Therefore, the work done by this force in one revolution is given by F into 2 pi r, because F is the force, and distance covered in one revolution is 2 pi r. Therefore, it is measured in terms of joules. Then what is the time taken for one revolution? If it is rotating with n revolutions per minute or n revolutions in 60 seconds, and time taken for one revolution is, it is 60 by n second. That is, work done by this force is F into 2 pi r. However, at the same time, the time taken for one revolution is 60 by n second. Therefore, the time taken is for one revolution is 60 by n second. Then, what I am interested is power. What do you mean by power? The power developed is work done per unit time. Work done per unit time. What is the work done in? And if we are going through the previous slide, the work done by the force in one revolution is F into 2 pi r. Time taken for this is 60 by n. Therefore, the power developed is work done per unit time, that is nothing but it is work done is F into 2 pi r divided by 60 by n. Then you have to simplify this. What I am grouping here F and R, and rest of the things I am grouping in another. Then what we are getting here is F into R into 2 pi n by 60. Then we know that this 2 pi n by 60 is called as angular velocity. What is the velocity? Velocity is nothing but distance by unit time. That is usually we are defining the velocity. It is called as an angular velocity. The distance traveled in this case is measured in terms of angle. That is for one revolution. What is the distance covered in one revolution? The total it is rotating through one circle. Therefore, what is the angle it is traveled from 0 to 360? Therefore, it is 2 pi. Then what is time taken for one revolution? It is 60 by n. Then if you are rearranging, what we are getting is 2 pi n by 60. It is radians per second or degrees per second. This is what we are calling is angular velocity. Then the power developed, you can see here, what is F into R? F into R, that we are defined as the torque, that is in Newton meter. And 2 pi n by 60, what we are defined is the omega. Therefore, power developed is equal to T into omega watts. Then that is P is equal to T into omega watts. Then the electrical power which is converted into mechanical energy in the case of motor, that is what is your input into the motor? It is V into IL. But the power which is converted into mechanical engineering is EB into I. That much power is converted into the mechanical energy, deducting the losses in the machine. Therefore, the electrical power which is converted into mechanical energy, it is given by EB into IA. That we will derive, we will discuss the later part of the lecture here. That is, at this point you remember that the power which is converted into the mechanical energy is EB into IA. Therefore, P is equal to T omega and also P is equal to EBIA. Then you can equate these two. Then what you are getting here is the T omega is equal to EB into I. Therefore, what we are interested is torque T. Therefore, T is equal to EBI divided by omega. Okay. Once again, you can substitute what is the value of omega here. What is the value of EB? What is the EB? EB is called as a back EMF. It is given by 5ZNB by 60 by A. Can substitute for omega and EB in this equation. What you are getting is T is equal to 0.159 ZP divided by A into F into I Newton meter. Can observe here 0.159 is a numerical constant. For a particular machine, number of conductors is constant, number of poles are also constant, and the number of parallel paths is also constant. Therefore, its whole term is a constant. Therefore, the torque is directly proportional to flux and the current I. That is, the torque is directly proportional to phi into I. That is, twisting moment is directly proportional to phi into I. Then you can recall what is the fundamental principle on which the motor works. That is, current carrying conductor is placed under a magnetic field, that is a flux phi. Then there is the force is exerted, that is a torque is producing in the machine. Therefore, the torque of the machine is directly proportional to the flux and Ia. If the flux is increasing, torque is also increasing. Ia is, if the torque, if you want more, the current drawn is also the more. That is, it is the torque is producing because of interaction of the armature current and phi. That defines our the principle of potential. That is, whenever the current carrying conductor is placed in the magnetic field, a force is set up on the conductor. That is on which on that principle the machine works. Therefore, that is quite evident from this formula. T is proportional to phi into. This is how you have to derive the equation. Okay. Then how we are getting that EBIA is equal to P? That is, we know it is the equivalent circuit diagram of the DC motor. Applied voltage is V. If because of applied voltage V, then I am getting what, that the armature current, and there is a back EMF and armature resistance. Then I have got an equation for V. V is equal to EB plus IA into RA. Then just I am multiplying here on both sides I. Then what it becomes, V is equal to V into IA. I am multiplying IA throughout here. V into IA is equal to EB into IA plus it is IA square into RA. This is the power equation. What you are getting here is power equation. If you are putting in the block representation, what is a V into IA? V into IA is, it is the power input to the machine. That is, VIA is the electrical power input to the motor. Then out of this input, there is a loss in the machine in the form of IA square RA. That is, IA square IA is the loss in the machine. The input is VIA, IA square RA is the loss in the machine. Then what is the remaining power? The remaining power is EBIA, that is converted into the mechanical energy. That is, EBIA is the output of the DC motor. Therefore, what I am getting here is electrical equivalent of gross mechanical power developed by armature is EBIA. Therefore, the P is given by P is equal to T into omega. The P is nothing but your EB into I. This is how we are establishing the relation between the P and the torque. That is, P is equal to T omega. That is, the EBIA is converting into its mechanical energy. Therefore, in the previous the slide, what I shown here is P into T omega is same as P is equal to EBIA. Therefore, if you are equating and you are derived the equation for the torque equation. Okay, with this background, this is the torque equation, and we have seen that the torque is directly proportional to the flux and the armature current. Next, we will see the different types of the DC motors. That is a classification. The first one is what we are seeing here is series motor. In the series motor, we have got a armature first, then I have got a series field that is connected in series. Then what I am doing here is I am inputting the voltage V here. Because of application of the voltage V, then the currents are flowing in the machine. That is, the IL is the load current or line current, which is current drawn from the circuit, and the current is flowing in the series field as well as the armature current. The series field has got a resistance of R series and the armature resistance has got a RA. Then we will establish the current relation for this machine, for a series machine. That is current relations. That is what we are observing here is IL and I series as well as IA, they are all the same because they are connected in series. The first relation what I am getting is IL is equal to I series is equal to I. Then the voltage relation. What is the voltage relation? What I am interested in the back EMF. The back EMF we are getting from the application of this voltage. Therefore, this is source of voltage. In this, what are the drops you have to detect? That is I series, R series, and IRA. The drop if you are deducting in V, what I am getting is EB. Therefore, EB is equal to V minus I series, R series, I series, R series, and IRA. And at the same time, we know that I series is equal to IA. Therefore, I series is replaced by IA, and I am rewriting this as EB is equal to V minus, this is also IA, this is also IA. This I am taking IA as a common, it is RA plus R series. This is how we have to establish the relation between the back EMF EB and the applied voltage V. In this case, there are two drops. One is the series field drop as well as the armature resistance drop. Thereby, we are getting the back EMF EB. Then you will move on to the shunt motor. In the shunt motor you have got a armature. The field is connected across the armature. Therefore, what I am getting here is the field is connected across the armature. Then once again I am applying the voltage V. Then because of the application of voltage, the current is drawn by the motor. You can see here it is a line current IL, the current which is drawn from the motor. Then IA is the armature current, whereas ISH is the current which is flowing through the field system. Then once again you can see here the current relation. What is the armature current IA? It is the total current is IL. It is IA plus ISH. IL is equal to IA plus ISH, or the armature current IA. If you are applying the Kirchhoff's current law at this junction, this IA is IL minus ISH. Okay, that we'll see here. That is, the current relation is IA is equal to IL minus ISH, because the total current entering here is IL. Out of IL, ISH is flowing here, therefore remaining current is IA, that is IL minus ISH. At the same time, you can see here what is the voltage applied? It is V. Then what is the voltage which is available across the shunt field? That is also V. Then if it has got a resistance of RSH, then how we are finding ISH? ISH is equal to V divided by RSH. Thereby we are finding out the shunt field current. Then if you look into the voltage equation, it is very simple in this case. What is the EB you are getting here? It is applied voltage V. What is the drop here? The drop is because of IA into RA. That is the only the drop what we are getting here. Therefore, the EB in this case is applied voltage minus IA into RA drop in the armature. Thereby, we are getting V minus IA RA is the relation for the EB in the case of shunt motor. Then we will move on to the long shunt. In the long shunt, you have got shunt field is connected across the armature as well as series field. These are the current. This once again IL. Here it is I series and IA, they are equal here. Same current, and ISH. Therefore, IA, how we are getting once again? IA is equal to IL minus ISH. The same relations that I am writing here, the current relation, that is what I am getting here is the IA current. The current which is flowing through the armature is nothing but IL minus ISH. Here entering is IL. Out of that ISH is flowing here. Therefore, remaining current what I am getting here, ISH. At the same time, you can see what is the voltage across the field winding, shunt field winding, that is same as V. Therefore, ISH is equal to V divided by RSH. Then the voltage relation you can see here. Then how we are getting EB? It is a V minus I series into R series into IA into RA. That is your back EMF in the case of long shunt. The same thing I am writing here. That is EB is equal to V minus I series R series minus I. Once again, I series is same as IA. Therefore, what I am writing is EB is equal to V minus I RA plus R series. This is how we have to establish the current and voltage relation for long shunt. The last one is, it is the short shunt. Short shunt means the shunt field is connected across the only armature. These are the current relation here. See here, current IL and I series are same here. Then the IA which is flowing in the armature, ISH in the shunt field. But you can observe here the voltage across this armature is, it is V minus I series into R series. That is, I series is nothing but RL. Therefore, it is V minus IL RC. And at the same time, voltage relation what we are getting is V minus I series R series, and it is into IA into RE. This is how we have to establish the relation for the short shunt motor. In the next class, we will see the characteristics of DC motor.